Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. It's time for another update. I'm up to tier 12 maps. I have a tier 13 map here on a boss map. Has minus res on it, so it's pretty sus, but I'm gonna go through this map and see if I can finish it without dying. You guys asked for a boss kill, so I'll try and show one here. So I'm up to level 84 now, and I still haven't been able to cap my fire res, which I think is kind of insane, but I've just had a really hard time struggling with crafting. I've had to make sacrifices on life to cap my other resists, so my life isn't as high as I would want it to be. I have gotten my energy shield up decently now, but I'm in SSF, so I'm pretty constricted on gear upgrades, and I just haven't been able to get lucky yet. I'll show you the gear after this map is over. I'm still using the wow. I'm still using the Ice Strike Shattering Palm combo because it's been working and I haven't really felt the need to change anything. I'm sure there's other combos and interactions that are also really good that could even be good to add on to this, but because this gameplay loop for me has just been working good enough, I haven't really felt the need to iterate on it or try to change it up. Let me I'll turn my sound down a little bit. But you can see Shattering Palm puts this big circle, so this big circle that shoots out here, that's Shattering Palm, and it puts a debuff on everything it hits, and it's kind of like a Herald of Ice debuff, really. And I'm using Herald of Ice as well, so then whenever I attack and shatter all those targets with that debuff, basically they kind of like explode twice because the Shattering Palm explosion goes off, and then that kind of triggers the Herald of Ice explosion, and it just gives you these big satisfying pops like that. And so my gameplay has been pretty good on the Invoker. I'm pretty happy with where my character is. And then if I come across a tanky rare, or not a tanky rare, all rares pretty much, I use Tempest Bell, and then that gives a nice extra single target boost. And then if I really need to, I pop Avatar. A lot of maps I don't even use Avatar at all. I hit the bell too early there, but you see that rare died almost instantly, and I didn't even hit him with the bell. But so here's the map boss. I'll pop Avatar for this map boss and show you guys what the boss looks like. Hope I can get this guy frozen up quick and not die. Okay, he's frozen, so now I'll Avatar, and targeting on this boss is a little weird with the bell. It's like I'm targeting the boss, but I'm hitting the bell instead. Targeting is a little weird on this guy, but there you go, he's dead. So my single target damage, you know, it's not game breaking or anything, but it's pretty decent. I'm happy with it still, and I haven't really made any damage improvements to my character for quite a while. I've been investing almost entirely into defense for like the past 8 levels. So there you go. So my character has these items. I've had this staff for since white maps, just big fizz damage and like baby attack speed and crit. Big room for improvement here. I can get a staff that has like 3 times as much damage if I was in trade league and I was rich. And then the rest of my gear is basically just resists. Like, I have struggled so hard to cap my resists. This helmet has int and res. The amulet I have has all res, a little bit of spirit. That extra spirit allows me to put on another aura, which I'll talk about in a minute. This ring is res. The damage, basically my prefixes are all just a bonus. I've geared basically entirely for resists, so any prefixes I have are just a cherry on top, except for the boots and the chest. So the boots, I have life and 25 movement speed, because movement speed is like so important in this game because the maps are so big. I've kept these boots because they have the 25 movement speed and the big life. The belt is double res, crappy life. It's not good. The gloves are big fire res, and that's the only reason I'm using these, because my fire res is still not even capped. I've completely struggled to get good resists on my gear. This ring is more fire res and lightning res. And then my chest is pretty good, I feel like. The suffixes aren't good, but the defenses on it are pretty good, and I decided to socket more defense runes in it to really bump up my evasion and energy shield. And then I exalted on crappy suffixes. But this chest is getting my evasion up nice and high. I have 82% chance to evade with Wind Dancer up. And then I'm using a Chaos Res charm because I still have like almost no Chaos Res. And then I don't have any more charm slots. The charm slots on the belt seem like they're going to be like really hard to get. I guess the plus charms is a suffix mod, I believe. And so you have to actually roll that mod on your belt to get more charm slots, which seems kind of bad, especially since there's so many like charm mods on the belts too. So you have to roll the charm mod, and then you have to get, the rest of your belt still has to be good somehow. I don't know. I feel like the charm slots here seem like they're a little too hard to get, especially with how common the charm mods are on the belts. It seems like they want you to have more charms, but you just don't have them. Anyway, so yeah, I have 1400 energy shield and 82 chance to evade. That's basically my defenses. And then I'm using a couple auras to help out. With the extra spirit I have, I put on Grim Feast. This aura is pretty cool. It lets you overcharge or overflow your energy shield. So if you noticed when I was killing monsters, little like white globes spawn everywhere. They have a 50% chance to spawn, and so those globes give you 50 energy shield back. So it's a nice way to recover your energy shield, which helps out because energy shield recharge is much slower in POE2 now. So this kind of helps speed it up, and the overflow can help. It can make your energy shield go up to double what it normally is. So when I don't take damage for a while, my energy shield goes up to almost 3,000. So it gives me a nice buffer to help me stay alive. And then Ghost Dance is good. It's the same as it was in POE1 basically, except it's an aura now instead of a keystone. I have less duration on this, and this allows the shrouds to come up faster. So if you take that out, you see it's it doesn't even show on this screen for some reason, but you see, if you look here, duration between shrouds 3.25, and then you put this in and it goes down to 2.28. So that helps the shrouds come up quicker. And then I have cannibalism in here for some life on kill recovery. This is really good. And then clarity for some extra mana regen. And neither these supports do make this aura cost more spirit. That amulet I have with the spirit is the only thing that's allowing me to use this for now. And the reason is because I haven't been able to get my third ascendancy yet. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then my other auras are Herald of Ice, which I have on Ambush and Cold Pin and Cold Mastery. I'm not sure at all that these are the best supports. These are just what I have thrown in, and they've been working, so I haven't bothered to change them. And then Wind Dancer I have on Maim and Encumbrance and Discombobulate. So these all work with Wind Dancer, and none of them cost any spirit. So these are just free supports that you can chuck on here. And the reason I have these on here is because of Gale Force. So when Wind Dancer, when you take damage with Wind Dancer, you proc Gale Force, which is like a little AoE thing that goes off, and that AoE hit can maim. And it can build up daze, which the daze doesn't really work that well, I don't think, but this is a free support, so I figured why not. But the maim slows the enemies when it procs, so you will get an extra little layer of defense from the enemies being slowed from the maim. So those are my auras, and then for my main skill, I finally got a Greater Jeweler's Orb, so I have a 5-link Eye Strike. So I have Close Combat, Martial Tempo, Crescendo, and a Primal Armament. So what Crescendo does is it gives it a final repeat. So you see this Eye Strike, it's a 3 combo attack, typically, like this. Like 2 small hits and then 1 big hit. But when you put in crescendo, it gives you double big hits. Like that. Like small, small, big, big, small, small, big, big. And the big hit does a lot of damage. So if you look at the 3rd strike on Ice Strike, the normal strike only has 175 attack damage, but the 3rd one has 391 attack damage. So it hits way harder. So I think it's much more important to get that double strike from Crescendo. It's probably the best support gem there is for single target. And so that's working. And then Shattering Palm, I have AoE, which I think is the most important support for this, because it's what it makes that wave that shoots out a lot bigger, so it covers the whole screen a lot better for clearing. And then Ice Bite, this is just a temporary buff that you get whenever you freeze stuff. And then Cold Infusion Momentum. Momentum only works if you travel far enough to proc it. And like I said, none of these supports on anything really am I like confident that they're the best choices. They've been working for me, so I'm sticking with them for now. I'm using Stormwave as just a way to try to shock stuff. I don't have a weapon swap set up yet. I want to do that as soon as I can. But I'm using more chance to shock, and then Lightning Infusion and Execrate. This gives it a cooldown, which sucks, but it's the whole point of me using this is just to try to apply a shock, and it does work. But I'm not really confident. I'm not really happy with this setup. I want to set up a weapon swap that I can put on and use this on my 2nd weapon set, and then change my tree a bunch to get more shock stuff to work better with this. That's my plan anyway, but I haven't been able to do it yet because I haven't found a 2nd weapon yet. And then lastly, I'm using Hand of Cholula with Hypothermia Freezing Mark, and then Heightened Curse, which just gives you more effect of the hypothermia. It doesn't do anything for the Freezing Mark because marks and curses are like completely separate now. And then Tempest Bell, I have Deep Freeze and Glaciation. So my Tempest Bell really freezes fast when I put it down and I get good hits on it. And then Rage on it too, so I get a little bit extra damage bonus whenever I'm hitting the bell. And then that's it pretty much. On Avatar, I just have Skill Effect Duration, and then these other +1 gems, they just add like 0.1 second of duration on it. They basically do nothing. So that's it for the gems, and showed you the gear already, and so now I'll show you the passive tree. My passive tree is kind of a mess. I'm still experimenting, and in no way am I confident at all that this is the best way to do this, but it's just been working, like I said. So this starting area, I have like almost everything over here because just all these nodes are just so good. I have this little bit of shock and lightning here. My Ice Strike does actually shock sometimes, like rarely. Because of this, but then it's also just to help my Stormwave shock a little bit. And then crit damage here, attack speed, I got movement speed and mana regen here, and the only reason I took this was because it has this evasion energy shield travel node in front of it, which is good. And then freeze build up here, I have freeze build up here, freeze build up here with big damage. These 2 nodes are pretty crazy. And then cold pen here, freeze build up on the staff wheel. And then the whole evasion wheel here, this is how I have 82% chance to evade. And then I have the crit wheel here, crit wheel up here, this whole crit wheel, and then this crit wheel and crit wheel here. My crit's not super high at all though. I have 42% chance to crit on my Ice Strike, which is okay, I feel like. It's hard to get crit in this game. And then I have this elemental wheel here for damage if you chilled and shocked recently. Once I get enough fire damage on the build, I'll probably be able to take this Ignite one too. That's kind of these are kind of flex points that I can put in and out as I need more points. And then I anointed High Alert on my amulet. This is pretty much the only anoint that I had the oils for that seemed good. So I just slapped that on. This is also helping me get my evasion up. I think I get like 3 or 4% chance to evade from this. And then my Ascendancy, I still have only Avatar. The 3rd Ascendancy is very hard to get. You have to do 3 floors of Sanctum, which I haven't been able to do because I suck at Sanctum, and it's also very hard. And then, or you have to do a 10-wave ultimatum, and I've tried that only once and didn't finish it. I do have a couple more 10-wave ultimatums. that I've found, I think. 777. Where are they? No, they must be in here. Yeah, I have a 10 wave there, 10 wave there, 10 wave there. So I have 3 more here. So I'll try these later today and see if I can finish one of them. And then I can't even imagine how difficult getting your last ascendancy must be. But I plan on going for the PDR node here. And then once I get this, I'm going to have a lot of extra spirit. I might actually rethink this. I'm going to have to think about what to actually do with this spirit because it'll make my amulet useless as far as the spirit goes. And then it's going to give me so much spirit that I feel like I'm not even going to have anything to do with it. So I'll have to think about what to do with that. I haven't experimented yet with any kind of cast on freeze or cast on shock or cast on crit setups or anything, or with this thing either, because I didn't have the spirit for them initially, and then also I kind of just felt like my build was working and I didn't need to experiment just yet. But I'll do all that stuff later. So anyway, I think that's good for the character. You saw the map in the boss showcase. I'm having a ton of fun in the game. The game is really hard though. Crafting gear is so hard. That's a struggle we're gonna have to get used to. My biggest complaint about the game actually is the rare telegraphing. Rare monsters are like invisible. If they don't have a magma barrier or a mana siphoner or something, you just can't even tell they're a rare monster. And like there's been lots of maps where I've ran by a rare because I didn't even notice it was a rare, and then when I get to the end of the map I have to backtrack all the way back to kill the rare because I didn't see it. That's actually my biggest complaint about the game. Other than that, I love the game. The Atlas is really cool. I'm having a ton of fun exploring around it and just doing maps. And overall, I'm just addicted. I love it. I absolutely love the game. So I'm excited to keep playing and keep progressing, keep improving my character. Hopefully I can ascend and cap my resist someday, but we'll see. The game's really hard. So anyway, that's it for this one. I'll do another update in a few more days, probably. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Come by the stream, twitch.tv/ZeusPOE, and see you next time.